Hi, and Mullenites. I hope you're all doing really well, and welcome to the weekend. And if you're in America, the long weekend, and happy Thanksgiving for those that are celebrating it. I'm here in Australia. We don't have Thanksgiving; it's not something we celebrate. But some people like to do little festivities around it just for the sake of having a bit of fun. Not that I'm getting caught up in any of those shenanigans this year. I've got no friends to invite me. Just kidding. Anyway, so MULN Automotive, it's been a bit of a lacklustre week. The stock traded sort of flat, really, but still trending down. It wasn't like dramatically down through the week, but we kind of just had this edging further downwards as the trading week went on, which was a bit disappointing because the trading week was actually a positive one in general, and MULN wasn't able to really capture that wave of momentum. But still, there's obviously reasons for that. Like, we can look back at the fact that on the Monday, the November 20th, when we were expecting to hear some announcements around deliveries of vehicles, there was no real news coming out about that, and that was kind of, that was a key milestone that had been flagged, that deliveries were going to be that day. There were, for whatever reasons, there wasn't anything announced, and I think that kind of has hurt the stock a little bit. Plus, there was also a bit of a hangover effect, I think, from Lawrence Hardge's big conversation with about his experience with his product and MULN, which I think has kind of slung a bit of dirt across the company's name. I covered that a bit more extensively earlier this week. I think it's worth pointing out that Lawrence Hardge, even though no one likes what he does and what his messaging has done for the stock, I think it's worth keeping in mind some of the points he's making, because at the end of the day, when they go through courts and the court system and stuff, this stuff's going to be resolved, and we're going to know who's kind of telling the truth, or where there's going to be a line that defines the truth in this matter. And if some of what Lawrence Hardge is saying is correct, it's probably worth listening to. Whether or not his technology works or not, that's a entirely different matter. But the stuff he's saying about the management and the way that MULN is, as a company, is operating, that sort of is raising a few red flags, and it's not going to be good news for the company if it comes out that that is indeed true. And obviously a lot of shareholders of MULN Automotive have harboured ill will towards management, and how they have gone about doing their jobs and how they've managed the resources of MULN Automotive. So Lawrence Hardge isn't totally off the mark with what he's saying, but there's the whole sort of side of, is he fabricating his story about the technology and just trying to get some money out of us? Who really knows? Anyway, that's last week's news. Over the long weekend, I think people are going to be contemplating. The retail investors in MULN are going to be contemplating one thing, and that's probably what's going on with this petition. And I'll pop it up on the screen, but there is a petition going around right now for MULN Automotive shareholders to vote and put pressure on the board to not pass to not pursue a further reverse stock split. And the sentiment that they've expressed around that is quite interesting, and it kind of brought an angle about the whole next reverse stock split, which I hadn't thought about. So initially, I always thought that when they did that second reverse stock split, I thought MULN should have gone really high with the split, done like a 1 for 100 or maxed out, whatever it is. Even though it would have taken them out of compliance, but it would have just froze up all the liquidity in the stock, and it would have had the stock price really elevated, and it would have been very hard for the stock to organically come down as low as it has come down to the price level we're seeing at it today. That was what I kind of thought they should have done then, and they didn't. They went for the minimum reverse stock split that they could do, and we're in this situation now. But the point that they make in this petition is that if MULN just sort of says they will not be pursuing another reverse stock split, that would bring in some positive momentum for the company. And I think I actually kind of agree with that. I think if MULN weren't to pursue a reverse stock split, and they would say no, there won't be another reverse stock split, that would bring some support into the company, and then people will start to look at the share price and see it, well, it's actually kind of undervalued when you look at the asset value, the net asset value the company has versus the share price value. So that would bring in some positive momentum for the stock. There are some problems with this though. Obviously, the fact that before the NASDAQ board or the NASDAQ meeting about being compliant, MULN sort of said that was one of the steps that they would take to try and get the stock back to being compliant. So it's kind of, well, they've kind of, if they come back out now and say, no, we won't pursue a reverse stock split, that kind of goes against what they've said to NASDAQ. It could land them in more hot water because they didn't follow through with their plan. So it's a tricky situation. I get the sentiment behind this petition, but it's a hard one to sort of say whether or not it would actually work out now that MULN's already gone and had this meeting with the NASDAQ. The fear of reverse stock split is something that MULN shareholders have been, constantly plagued by over the last 12 months. We've had two already, and even dating back another 12 months beyond that, because the stock price has been dipping as it has. So, it's a constant issue that shareholders have had to contend with, and I think that they have lived with it, and as a result, many have lost huge amounts of money because the stock's been brought down by the fear of reverse stock split, and as well as the eventual effects of the reverse stock split. So people have just been totally decimated in this stock. A lot of people are down 99%. I've got my positions, I'm down about 80% because I've done some trading stuff along the way and some dollar cost averaging, but it's still probably the worst performing position I hold at the moment. To me, my feelings are I just wanted to see what happens to the stock. I'm kind of done with it. I'm sitting on the fence a little bit now, I know, but I actually wouldn't mind seeing if the company did try to go over the counter. Well, not that they choose to go over the counter, but if they say that they're not going to do a reverse stock split, this sort of gamble, would it be enough to try and get the stock back up to being compliant organically? I'd actually really like to see that. What do you guys think? I'd love to actually hear what you guys think out there about this petition and that actual position. Do you think that if they come out and say that they're not going to do a reverse stock split, that there would be enough to organically get the stock back above $1? Or do you think because they've already laid that out in their plan to the NASDAQ that they will do a reverse stock split? Do you think that even if they were to come out and say there will be no reverse stock split because they have this official plan, there's a good chance that they'll get in further trouble with the NASDAQ? What do you guys reckon? Put it in the comments below. Anyway, just a couple of thoughts I'll talk about, leading into the weekend. Anyway, hope you guys have a great long weekend if you are celebrating Thanksgiving in America, and everyone else have a great weekend too. Till next time, everyone, may the markets trade in your favor. Cheers.